What up, fam? It's your girl, Vita. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing another video, so don't get too used to the frequency because I'm pretty sure it's going to peter off at some point. But I thought this was an interesting video to do, and I wanted to kind of do it when it was fresh. So I'm in a bunch of poly groups on Facebook or polyamory groups. I'm trying to like step away from saying poly because I guess like Polynesian people have an issue with us saying poly because poly used to or it did designate Polynesian people, Pacific Islanders, and so I'm like trying to move away from saying poly, but you know, old habits die hard. Anyways, so I'm in a lot of polyamory groups on Facebook, and this has come up in two of those groups, and I thought it was a really cool topic to do a video about. Because this is actually a lot more common than you would think. Or it's just not something that people even really think about until you kind of come into the poly realm, or the polyamory realm, I should say. And so I wanted to talk about it. And so I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook, and in two of the groups that I was in, someone posted a meme where they were asking if your partner has a right to go through your phone and read your messages. And I was surprised, actually, at the number of people that were totally comfortable going through their partner's phone and reading their messages, and were totally comfortable with their partner having their phone and going through their messages, and were saying things like, you know, they have the right to do this. My partner has a right to go through my phone. I was actually really, really alarmed by that. And so I wanted to talk about it. And so I'm going to answer the question for myself. I don't really like to answer these for everybody else because everybody feels different about a lot of these things, but I'm just going to talk about from my life. So does my partner have the right to go through my phone? Hell no. Okay. Hell to the no, no, no. They ain't got no right to go through my phone. Okay. They ain't got no right to none of my shit. Okay. Nothing that belongs to me does my partner have a right to, because it's mine. It belongs to me. Now, if my partner wants some information, can they ask me for it? Absolutely. You know, and I give them that information, but they do not have the right to go through my phone. I do not believe that my partners have the right to go through my phone. And actually, where I came up with this, actually, or how I developed the philosophy that I have about it is, I used to go through my husband's phone all of the time. When we first were poly and all that stuff like that, polyamory, we were first exploring non-monogamy, I would go through his phone all the time. Like, I'm not a very private person, so I don't mind anybody going through my phone. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's just not something that makes me angry. I'm not a very private person, so, and I would feel insecure or feel like maybe he wasn't giving me information that I, you know, should have had, or I don't know. It was just control. Really, it was just a control thing. Just wanting to keep my eyes on the situations that he had with other people to make sure that he wasn't getting in too deep, or it wasn't getting out of hand, or, you know, they weren't exchanging sentiments that made me uncomfortable. And so I would go through his phone all the time. It made him very, very angry because my husband is super, 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 super private. And I don't like that a lot of people conflate people having an issue with their partner going through their phone as in you have something to hide. Like, a lot of the verbiage that people would use when they would talk about it was, well, I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. So why would I mind my partner going through my phone because I don't have anything to hide? And it's not really about having anything to hide, because I never really found anything in my husband's phone that I shouldn't have found. Like, I never found anything that I was like, you know, he was doing something wrong, you know, because, you know, he's a stand-up guy, but he's just very private. He's an extremely private person. He doesn't like people, like, he doesn't even like me, like, going through his notebooks when he, like, jots things down. Like, he's just a very private person. So it was like a big violation for him for me to go through his phone, and it would cause these big arguments. He'd get really upset with me. And then I'd get upset with him about something that I read, you know, or something that I saw him, you know, say to somebody else. And it just was not cool. And so after, like, getting bust upside the head a bunch of times with just things that I just did not need to see, I stopped going through his phone, because I was like, you know what? This is just messing up my life, okay? So I don't need to do this. I stopped going through his phone. So I trust that if I have some information that I need, that I can ask him for it and get that information from him, and that he'll tell me the truth. And that if something is none of my business, then he'll say, Vita, it's none of your business, and it's none of my business. If you feel the necessity to have to go through your partner's phone, the issue is not having the right to go through your partner's phone. Or, like, that's not the problem. You know, well, he just needs to give me access to his phone. The problem is you have a partner that you don't trust. And that's the larger issue, you know, that you have someone that you feel like you have to go through their phone in order to get the true story, because you can't trust that your partner will come to you and give you the full story if you ask, or that they're not being transparent with you. So I trust that he'll give me the information that I need when I ask for it, and that if something is none of my business, he'll tell me it's none of my business, and I trust him with that too, because reality is I'm not in the relationship with him and his other partners. I'm not. That's their separate relationship. So they're communicating and they're talking to each other, and it's not for my eyes. It's not for me to see. She's not saying things to him or talking to him. His partner's not talking to him going, I want Vita to read this, or this is something that I know that Vita is going to be reading. And so I don't need to go through his phone. I don't need to be looking at his messages with other people. Like, that's his space. They deserve to have their privacy. And I always tell people, I'm like, okay, well, if this is how you feel that it's okay for you guys to go through each other's phone and read each other's messages and stuff like that, then what you should be doing is you should be telling your other people that you're interacting with when they're, dating you, or who you're dating, or who your partner is dating. You guys should be informing people that, hey, we go through each other's phones. We read each other's messages. So if you send a message to me, my spouse is going to read it. My spouse is going to see it. My messages are surveilled by my spouse. And so their eyes are going to be on it too. So that way that person is aware that when they're communicating with you, that there are going to be extra eyes in the conversation. But there may be things that his partner shares with him that she only wants him to know and she doesn't want me to know. And that's fine. And that's completely okay, because it's their relationship. I am not in their relationship. So I don't have a problem with my husband going through my phone. It's just not something that bothers me, because I'm not a particularly private person. And my mentality is about it is like, okay, well, if you want to go through my phone and see some shit and get all fucked up in the head about it, go right ahead. Like, but don't come to me with no issues if you read something that you didn't like, because that's your bad for going through my phone. Like, I'm not doing anything that I'm not supposed to be doing, because I'm not. So it doesn't really bother me, with him going through my phone, but it's one of those things that I like offering the people that I'm interacting with the security of knowing that they can communicate with me, and that it's not, them communicating with me with him kind of watching it. Because, like, how can a person feel safe being vulnerable with you, the person that they're actually in a relationship with, if they know that their correspondence is being viewed by your spouse? So me, myself personally, going through his phone just feels icky. Like, I don't even, like, when he leaves his phone on the table next to me, I turn the screen side down. I don't even like to have his phone screen side up, because sometimes messages pop up and you can see what's in it, and I just don't want to know. I don't need to know. It's not my business. It ain't got shit to do with me. I'm actually pretty hands-off kind of partner with him in his other relationships. I don't ask him a lot of questions. I just go, hey, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy yourself? I might, say, hey, what did you do? That's it. I don't ask them a lot about their sex life. I don't really ask them a lot about their relationship. I don't, it's just not, it ain't my business. It's more logistical stuff that I need to know. Like, where are you going to be and when? Like, when are you going to see her? That kind of thing. But I don't really get in their relationship. I don't ask a lot of questions. I don't need to know. It's none of my fucking business. It's none of my fucking business. And a lot of people feel like, well, that's your husband. Like, whatever. He's still an autonomous human being. Like, yes, he's my husband, but he doesn't belong to me. He's not my child. He's not an extension of me. He's a completely autonomous human being carrying on autonomous relationships with other people that I am not in, and it ain't none of my goddamn business, okay? So no, my partner does not have the right to go through my phone, and we don't practice that in our marriage. I wouldn't practice that with anybody that I was with. Now, if he asked to see it, depending on what the situation was, I might let him, but I think what I'd be more concerned about is, why do you feel the necessity to go through my phone or to read my messages? Like, what information are you trying to get that you feel that you need to go through my messages? Because I can just tell it to you right here. So, yeah, no. My partner ain't got no right to go through my phone. They ain't got no right to none of my shit. Okay.